right. Hello, everyone. Ugh. I'm gonna do some painting. Painting. Oy. All right. I guess it's vertical, huh? Probably want to be horizontal. I wonder if I can change it, but oh well. All right, well, let's paint. It's been a while since I live streamed, so I forgot that I should make it vertical, but that's just, I don't think I can reset it now. So I'm working on the final diagram for the inside pages of forming. So I've got all my references here for color, all the characters that are present in this diagram explaining the descending sort of like cosmic down to the more grounded earth beings, and how they all descend from one to the other, and who's crossing the boundaries, you know. The only people I didn't include in this diagram, I think, are the Assassin's Guild characters, because I just couldn't fit them. And I couldn't fit the Nephilim Guard in here either, but I feel like those are all represented by either Marduk or Serapis and Attis. So in their own way, they're represented in this chart. But we're gonna go and paint some angels. We're gonna paint some angels first and then work our way down. So, you know, and I also discovered that in my reference, you know, sometimes you do stuff that you don't even realize. Like, I've got all my references for the scenes where Noah is in the angelic realm and he's seeing all these archangels wrestling with each other. And I put this guy in here who wasn't even an angel. I did a series of paintings called New Age Fighters, and I put him in there. Why did I do that? I don't know. But it's there, so, you know, it is what it is. My New Age Fighter is part of the lore, forming lore. So that's how it goes. Anyway, and I don't have a color reference for one of my angels. I never put him in, even though I had some drawing reference of him. It was, where is it? Somewhere in here. My angelic reference. Oh, is it here? It's in here. No, it's not in here. It is in here. Where? Somewhere. Where are you, buddy? Come on. All right, here we go. Gabriel. Angel Gabriel. Here. Never made it into forming. but he was a reference. So he made it into the chart here, even though he never actually made it into the comic. Interesting. So let's paint. Get my paints out. Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't spill my water. Okay. So what we'll do here. We'll just get some green going. That's my Philly accent coming up. Green going. Mix a little bit of white. And then we'll go to work here. So as you can see, I already did a base layer of paint. Underpainting with airbrush. But I wanted to skip all the boring stuff and just get into painting, brush painting. What exactly is this? It's a chart I based off of like a. Every time I release a book every 7 or 8 years, I usually include a chart of the relationships between all the characters in the book. So this is for my upcoming major collection of. Oops. Oops. Is it still going? I might have disconnected. I'll go into live chat. I think it's still going. Up top, you have the emanation of like the creative source. You've got a muscle arm coming out of here, descending with the vril power into Nomo, who is like the prophet, the artist prophet, and he's protecting the two these two characters, Seth and Nobody. But on the outer skirts of like the creator is are all these angelic beings, right? And they circle around. And then one level below that, and here's Death, who is emanating from the crotch of the amalgamation of like many characters here, the lion or the sun. And then we've got all these like semi-cosmic mystical beings like the Sasquatch and the whale that swallows Cain, and Gaia, not Gaia, Gob, the protector of Mother Earth, and then the Adam Katamon, original man, and yeah, all these beings, the snake from the pit that climbs the tree, and then we've got Enoch, and we've got yeah, and then one level below that is the all the creatures of the material universe, all the beings of the material universe, like Noah and Serapis and Attis, and then closer and closer to the center of the earth, we get Adam and Eve, the original humans, and their offspring, Cain and Abel, and then the lizard man, the reptilian race, and then we've got Archangel Michael, who's coming down to destroy the center of the earth with the devil at the center of the earth. So yeah, this is my like cosmic chart, I guess you could say. That I'm trying to color in right now. Basically, paint by numbers. And then I'll decide whether or not I'm going to ink it, or whether or not I'm just going to try to totally render it in paint. I'll have to decide what to do there when I get to that crossroad. Why did I decide to make these angels green? I don't know. You make decisions when you're in the moment. And then once they've been committed to paper, you're beholden to these decisions that you made randomly, seemingly. I don't know what cool music for cool people is. But so I forget what angel this is. And he's got a head coming out of his yoni. Or what have you. You know, the difference between this and doing this and like Bob Ross, I think, is like Bob could cover a lot of ground with a few strokes, and I'm doing like filling. I'm filling in shapes, so it's a lot less like the magic is like not as apparent. It's more gradual. So maybe it's like not quite as built for TV. Is filling in color. And maybe the cameras were better. I don't know. I feel like you could really capture all the detail. And here, it seems like some detail gets lost in if I'm streaming off of a phone. Um, but I don't know a better method personally. Okay. There's one angel down. Oh, I didn't do his face yet. Or their face. Or whatever it is. Those angels. Birthing itself. In a perpetual state of birthing itself. All right. It's green. And this other angel next to it is it's green also, but it's like a light, super light green. So I gotta make sure to stick to that. Super light. So. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall during the time when Simon Beasley was hand painting his comics and understood his process. If he was painting straight onto the paper or if he was using overlay. A lot of these guys, especially like the old school comics people working in color, were using really complex color process. Like Richard Corbin was doing all sorts of wacky stuff that I don't even really understand. I'd have to like re-listen to some old or reread some old interviews with him about how he was doing what he was doing because of the available printing options at the time. What's nice about I've never figured this out in Photoshop is like letting the marks of the paint not totally cover up the underpainting. So that way you get chunks of this purple coming through. And to me, that's like, you know, a shout out to back in the day when I would look at paintings by what's his name? W.C. Wyeth? W.C. Wyeth? Was that his name? W.C. Wyeth or Andrew Wyeth? Andrew Wyeth was his son. But he would do these like cool pirate paintings where you could see all this like underpainting coming through the flesh, which made them feel more alive. You could feel the blood pumping in their skin in the paint, which was really cool. Okay, there's two green guys, and then there's no color design for Gabriel. He doesn't exist in the comics, only in my notes. So what do I do? I'm gonna make Gabriel. Some of these other guys are yellow. I'm gonna make him. Sort of like a yellow ochre, I think. Or, yeah, yellow ochre. That'll pop off the purple, nice. Boink. Boink. Some yellow ochre. All right. Feels good. Let's see. In here. Yeah, this is a chart that's going on the inside of the forming collection when it comes out. This is like a final, at least my final take on character relations. Like a map to the web of characters. Sort of influenced by the spiritual charts of Robert Flood. I've been finding that, I haven't really been I haven't really been reading that much these days. And all my forming stuff is like so meticulously like noted and heavily researched. And I feel like I've been running off the steam of my years of research into these sorts of subjects and my tarot research. The last time I really, really dug deep into something was probably my tarot research. And since then, I've like kind of stepped off the gas a little bit, or a lot, and only half looking into things, half investigating. A lot of my reality has been sort of like passively, or like I'm passively absorbing through media, through social media, and in these like small snippet bites of like whatever the like material universe is feeding me. Oh, thanks, Ian. So that's part of the reason why I recently deleted my Instagram. Was to take the focus away from passively ingesting information. So I'm trying to find something I'm interested in again to like add to my arsenal. And I'm starting to read like books on politics, which is like so counter to my personality, but something is telling me to. Something is telling me to like fill the gap. So I can feel like a lack, and I'm like, okay, I want to fill that area. So I'm reading some political stuff, books. We'll see what happens with that. I really don't feel like my purpose in life is to write like a politically informed fiction. But anyway, what should I make? You know what? I'm gonna make Angel Gabriel's hair pink. Let's do it. I think it's gonna look good. Like pink, like sherbet. Yeah, this is gouache. I'm painting with gouache currently, and you can see the gradient is all done with airbrush. I did that earlier yesterday. But I didn't feel like live streaming myself doing airbrush because sometimes airbrushing can be a slow, tedious process of cleaning the brush and masking out areas with frisket. So this is more, painting with gouache is more immediate. think this is Raphael, who is, what color is Raphael? I have my reference. Raphael is some sort of purpley, purple, crimsony kind of. So I think it's like a mix of crimson and white. It's getting pretty goopy here. Okay. The physical copy of Forming is coming out in 2026, and Fantagraphics is putting it out. So I'm trying to get it ready for them pretty far in advance. I am going to rescan all the pages on the same scanner and do all the color correcting. And I'm going to make little changes to the originals to just fix a little bit of some continuity stuff that, when you're making a webcomic over the course of 15 years and you take like a year off between pages, sometimes you forget some continuity stuff. So, and then sometimes when you look in retrospect, you realize that you made connections you didn't even realize. And so I want to enhance some of those connections a little bit. So it's not going to be a full George Lucas, kind of thing, but there are little things I want to enhance and make sure the continuity is clear. Like on Cain, Abel, and Seth, like their design, their character designs over the years changed a bit, and I wasn't even sure early on like how to that I needed to differentiate them like visually so much, and then I found that over the years, like I was like, I don't even know which one's which. I need to figure out like actually making their designs like distinct from each other, because they became more of a central theme than I originally planned. So later in the comic, you can see that Cain's head became way more like looking like a football, and then Seth's head became looking way more like a square. And they all had different colored outfits, but early on they didn't look that different from each other. So things like that. So I'm gonna try to like work that into the earlier designs a little bit, and there's like a repeating motif of this bird throughout the comic, and I didn't make the bird look the same all the time, and I want to do that here. So I'm gonna go back and like paint all the birds, repaint all the birds to be the same design. Speaking of which, I forgot to put the bird in this chart. So let's see here. So I'm gonna put the bird here. Little bird. All right. I'll figure out the details of that later. But just so I don't forget. Bird. All right. All right, we got a couple angels down here. I gotta do their hair, but let's get this guy going. He is also a yellow ochre. Mix of yellow and yellow ochre. This light over here. Oops. Well, both of these guys are yellow. Uh-oh. How do I make them like contrast off each other? I didn't think about that. This is just what do you call it, supplementary material. It's not it's not like a story page. It's just a chart for the book. So usually when I do when I've done the first two forming books, I would make a little explanation chart to help the reader track character overlaps and relationships. So I was like, how do I approach one for the full book? So this is my attempt. This is my attempt at that. See if I can get closer. Yeah, it's drifting. All right. This guy's yellow also, but I want to make him pop off the other yellow. So, what do I do? Kabbalah and Gnosticism were definitely influential on my writing, for sure. As I went deeper and deeper into forming, I became more and more aware of like some Gnostic ideas, and I think I became like almost vaguely Gnostic myself over the course of the past 15 years. I don't know for sure, but I definitely lean Gnostic. And I remember a guy early in the forming days, one of my readers, reaching out to me and talking to me about Gnosticism, and I didn't really understand it at the time or understand what it was. And that guy who reached out to me was a pretty scary dude. I actually was kind of worried that he was gonna come after me. Like, he seemed like an unhealthy, kind of violent person, maybe. That's the same way that interesting ideas can influence people in different ways. Like, I think about Buddhism, um, and in World War II, there was this like there was this fad, I guess you could say, in like Japanese generals to be Buddhist and believe in like sort of this like karmic justification for violence, um, and like sort of a disassociation from like the human suffering, and a bunch of the generals who were like responsible for Nanjing. Uh, yeah, it was their karma to enact violence, right? So they use that to justify the, like inhumane behavior. Um, so same goes for people who practice occult magic and um, anything else. Like I've seen people act really weird and shady who should be sort of like seeking, I don't know. There's like a weird slippery slope with any, I think, mystical system. If you don't have like a grounded sense of empathy for your fellow humans. I had a talk with a publisher one time, and we were talking about actually gurus um, and people who think they've figured it out and they've like disassociated from human existence, and they've like they've figured out the answer. Sometimes the harder you seek, the more of a asshole you turn into. Seems to be a trend. No, this is not the cover for Forming 3. This is interior covers. Oh, Dougie Jones. What's up, man? Long time no see. Yeah, I think maybe it's like just a disposition, and then like the thought systems you fall into can be the same as being like a Wall Street day trader. Uh, is the same sort of like attraction to magical energy. Um, so what's the difference between a success guru, Wall Street day trader type guy, and like a Gurdjieff type person? Sometimes I don't know. All right, take it easy. Have a good dinner. I always think like lately. I think anyone that has never said um, anyone like I look at anyone that if I follow their work for a long time, I've never seen them admit to being wrong about anything. I don't trust them. like if you're not willing to say you made a mistake or perceive something incorrectly, I am very suspicious of you. And I think uh, being open to being wrong is important. But it's nice sometimes to meet people who are extremely confident. You know, people are attracted to confidence, and myself included. Um, but man, like I just need to hear a few times that you've ever been in the moment. Say, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm not right. You know, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about all the time. Or saying like I don't know. Someone being able to say I don't know in public. I think we live in a world where no one's allowed to say I don't know. Okay, so these two guys are also light green. Um, so I'm gonna mix some light green and white again. Jesus 2, I went to, so there were 4 screenings at Sundance, and I was only able to go to the premiere because on the second day of our second screening, I was required to go to this like brunch thing at like Robert Redford's mountain resort, and I got some free pancakes. But anyway, the premiere went great. It was like a lot of fun, and I was really stressed, hoping that the audience would, laugh at the jokes and be into the visuals and stuff. And it got a good pop from the audience, so that was great. And but I didn't see the other screenings because I went to a director's brunch, and then the next 2 screenings, both me and my brother got sick, and we had to go home. So I wasn't able to stick around for those screenings. But I'm sure they went fine, and it was a very interesting film festival. I mean, there were people there I knew, luckily, so I was able to hang out with some folks and not feel totally like stranded and lost and not sure what to do or where to go. And it's a very like highfalutin festival. There's a lot of like executive types there and stuff. I think I like going to animation festivals more than I like going to live action festivals, to be honest. So I think from now on, unless it's like a really, really nice, like someplace I would go on vacation to, I'm not going to go to film festivals anymore. So there's one in Portugal that Jesus 2 got into. And I might go just because I want to visit Lisbon. So that's in the spring, I think. So I might go to that. But yeah, I've gone to Annecy twice just for fun. And Annecy is a lot of fun. Um, so I'll definitely go to Annecy if it gets in. You just got to pray that the French understand my film. If you're out there, programmers at Annecy, please give my short animated short a chance. Do you want like experimental animators or like animators that are doing more like sort of like story oriented stuff? Because I feel like you can just find like great animators on Instagram, or funny storytelling animators on Instagram, on like what's that channel? A Studio Digital, is that what they're called? And on uh, and like Cartoona and um, Animation Plus and things like that. I feel like that's my favorite way to find um, funny young animators making funny shit. Um, if you're looking for like experimental animators who are doing more like abstract stuff, um, you could check out um, like Miyu Productions and um, what do you call it? Super Tight in LA puts on a bunch of stuff like that, and then there's Glass Animation Festival, GLAS, and then there's iWorks Animation Festival and Pictoplasma. Um, those are all good for like up and coming or like somewhat established experimental animators. I'm more of a lowbrow kind of like I come from TV and comics and stuff like that, so I wouldn't consider myself like an experimental animator. I'm more of a what do we even call it? Um, like a genre guy. All right, take it easy. Have a good night. Third stream indie commercial mix. Yeah. I don't know what third stream means, but it sounds right. Classical jazz fusion. Yeah. I mean, if if someone ever wants to compare my body of work to like Mahavishnu Orchestra, I could die happy, I guess. He's like the John McLaughlin of comics and cartoons. Yeah, Mahavishnu Orchestra is the shit, man. I've got what's it? Is it Birds of Fire and Apocalypse? Um, Birds of Fire? Is it Birds of Fire or Birds of Flame? I can't remember. And then Intermounting Flame, right? Intermounting Flame. That's the really great one, classic one, and then Apocalypse. That's the one but I put that on. I put that on my turntable pretty often. So after I'm done painting this guy, I'm probably gonna peace out and go play Demon Souls. 9:30. I've got some time to get a Demon Souls session in. Oh, thanks. You made me. I was watching. I recently I don't do this very often, but I recently watched a video essay on Lemongrab as a character. Someone made a long, maybe half-hour video essay about Lemongrab story arc. And I hadn't thought about it in a long time, but really did make me feel pretty proud of participating in Lemongrab's story. I shared it with Tom Herpick, who was one of the other major architects. Him and Steve Wolfhard, who did the whole North Korea, Lemongrab arc. And then I just sat back and watched them go to town with dark Lemongrab. Yeah, definitely Steve. I don't know Steve that well. I've been to his house one or two times, and we worked on the same show for a long time, but we weren't. I wouldn't say we were like super close. And Steve is such a really nice guy, and but he really he's got this dark side that comes out in his comics and in some of the stuff in Adventure Time, just some of those brutal, some of the most brutal stuff in Adventure Time was from Steve, which is funny. It's because it's so contrasting to his personality in real life is so soft and jovial. I have not had any good pickles lately. I actually had some really disappointing Grillo's pickles recently. I've had some okay restaurant pickles, but I'm running out of pickles to try, to be honest. Um, there's some East Coast like boutique pickles I want to check out, but it costs like $30 to ship them over here. All right, here we go. I feel like I made some progress. Got some paint down finally. Sometimes it's hard to break the ice. I haven't painted analog painted in a couple, maybe in a month or a couple months, maybe 2 or 3 months. So I got these guys on the perimeter here coming along. I still got to do some details on their faces and their hair and stuff. And then I got all this stuff to do in here. But anyway, I think it's getting late. Thanks. I'm gonna go eat a snack and play some video games. But thanks for hanging out, y'all. I'm gonna feed my cat because she's meowing at me. Peace.